Ladies and gentlemen, today we are going to talk about the most important battle of your life, the battle that determines the direction of your future. It's the battle you fight every single day, and the only one that truly matters. It's not a battle against your competitors, your circumstances, or even your past. No, the real battle, the one that will shape your destiny, is you versus you. Let me ask you this, how many times have you heard that voice in your head? The one that says you can't do it, the one that tells you you're not good enough, the one that makes you question your abilities, your worth, your potential. That voice is your greatest adversary, and it comes from within. It's the voice of fear, doubt, and insecurity. But here's the truth, it is not the world outside you that limits you, it's the story you tell yourself. It's the belief you hold in your mind that keeps you stuck. That voice in your head, those doubts, those excuses are not real. They're just the remnants of a past version of you, a version that was too afraid to break free, a version that wasn't yet ready to claim the greatness that lies within. So let me tell you this, the only way to win the battle is to silence that voice. You have to step up and redefine what's possible, not just for the world around you, but for you. You see, most people spend their lives trying to conquer the world. They think success is about the external, more money, more status, more recognition. But real success, lasting success, comes from conquering yourself first, from overcoming the doubts, the fears, and the limits you've placed on yourself. Now, I'm not saying it's easy. I'm not saying it won't require hard work. It will. But the moment you decide that you are the one who determines your future, everything changes. The moment you decide to no longer accept the version of yourself that is held back by fear, everything shifts. That is the moment when you truly become unstoppable. You've got to embrace the challenge. You've got to face that inner resistance head on, because the most beautiful part about this battle is that you have the power to win every single time. Every time you push through your fear, every time you take one more step when your mind says stop, you become a new version of yourself. The version you were always meant to be. But here's the thing, this battle is not a one-time event. It's a daily decision. Every morning you wake up, you have a choice. Will you listen to the voice that says you can't? Or will you listen to the one that says, I will? Every day you have to fight the battle. You've got to show up even when you don't feel like it. You've got to keep pushing forward even when the world tells you to quit. Because that's when the true magic happens, when you press on, when it feels like all hope is lost. And when you do, when you push past your own limits, something incredible happens. You start to win. You start to see results, not because you're lucky, but because you've decided to face yourself, to face your fears, to face your doubts, and to rise above them. You realize that you were never the problem, it was always the story you told yourself. So let me ask you, who are you going to be? Are you going to let the old version of you, the fearful, the doubtful, the limited you, control your future? Or are you going to step into the power that's already within you? Are you ready to show the world what happens when you stop fighting against yourself and start fighting for the greatness that lies within you? You've got everything you need. You've got the strength, you've got the drive, you've got the heart. All that's left is the decision to choose you, to choose growth, to choose to rise above your own limitations. Remember, the only person standing between you and your success is you. But the moment you decide to fight that inner resistance and choose your higher self, you will see the world transform around you. Not because the world changed, but because you did. So get out there and fight your battle, you versus you, and when you win that battle, you win everything. The greatest battle you'll ever face is not with the world around you, nor with the people who challenge you, nor even with your circumstances. The greatest battle is the one you face with yourself. The battle within is the most powerful, the most important, and often the most difficult to win. This battle is the one that shapes every aspect of your life, from your actions to your thoughts, to the way you experience success and failure. In fact, it is the internal struggle that determines your ultimate potential. Every day you face a choice to believe in yourself and your dreams, or to give in to doubt and fear. The voice within you that tells you that you're not good enough, that you're too late, that you're not capable of achieving your goals, that's the voice of the battle. The question you must ask yourself is, who will win? Will you let that inner voice dictate your life, or will you rise above it and claim your power? This battle isn't always loud. It doesn't always come in the form of obvious negative self-talk or an overtly destructive mindset. Often it's subtle. It can appear as procrastination, as hesitation, as playing small, as settling for less than you know you are capable of. The internal resistance manifests in different ways: a hesitation before an important decision, a quiet voice telling you to wait, a feeling of discomfort when you step outside your comfort zone. It's the part of you that says, maybe tomorrow, maybe later. It's the part of you that convinces you to stay in a place of safety, even when you know that growth only happens outside of it. The reason this battle is so important is that it dictates every aspect of how you live your life. How you show up in the world is shaped by the internal conversations you have with yourself. Every day you either take one step forward toward your potential, or you stay stuck, stagnant in a place that doesn't fulfill you. The power of this internal battle is so immense because it governs everything. It influences your decisions, how you respond to challenges, how you pursue your goals, and how you recover from setbacks. The person who wins this internal battle is the one who not only finds success, but also finds peace, fulfillment, and purpose. We often hear people say that they want success, that they want change, but when it comes time to take action, the internal resistance steps in. It's that nagging voice that tells you to stay comfortable, to avoid the risk, to avoid failure. The truth is that this battle isn't about avoiding the pain or the discomfort. It's about learning to fight through it. It's about acknowledging that growth comes from facing the challenge head on, not running away from it. The more you battle with yourself and win, the more you become aware of your own strength and capabilities. What makes this battle so difficult is that it's fought in silence. Nobody else can hear it. Nobody else can see it. It's something only you experience. There's no audience, no applause, no recognition when you win or lose this internal fight. The world outside doesn't always see how much courage it takes to silence that voice of doubt, to step forward in the face of uncertainty, to take action when you feel fear creeping in. But that doesn't make the battle any less important. In fact, it makes it even more powerful. When you win this internal battle, it is not just a victory for today, but a victory for every day that follows. The reality is that every great achievement in history, every story of success, has been preceded by this internal struggle. Every great leader, inventor, entrepreneur, and visionary faced this challenge. They had doubts, they were afraid, they were uncertain. What made them different was that they didn't let that voice of doubt stop them. They didn't let the fear control them. Instead, they fought through it, and they kept moving forward. Every time they pushed past their inner resistance, they grew stronger, they became more resilient, more confident, and more capable. And this is the core of why the internal battle is so crucial. It's not about avoiding challenges or living a life free of fear. It's about learning to move forward despite those things. The battle within isn't just about overcoming fear either. It's about confronting your beliefs and your stories. We all have stories that we tell ourselves about who we are and what we can do. These stories shape our actions. They determine what we believe is possible for us. If you've ever told yourself, I'm just not good enough, or I don't deserve success, that's part of the internal battle. These limiting beliefs can hold you back for years if you don't confront them. You have to be willing to challenge those beliefs and replace them with empowering ones. This process isn't easy, it's a daily fight. You need to actively choose to see yourself as capable, as deserving, as powerful. And let's not forget that this internal battle can often become more intense when you're on the verge of something great. The closer you get to realizing your dreams, the louder the voice of doubt may become. That's because when you're close to growth, that's when your fears and insecurities try to pull you back. They'll tell you that you're not ready, that you're not enough. This is a critical moment in the battle. It's the moment when you have to make a conscious choice to move forward, even if it feels uncomfortable. Because every time you push through that resistance, you become someone new, someone capable of more, someone stronger. But here's the most powerful part of all of this: the battle within is not a one-time event. It's a process. It's not something you can fight and win once and then walk away from. It's a continuous process of self-discovery, of growth, of challenge. The stronger you get at fighting this internal battle, the more you realize that the battle will never fully go away. There will always be new fears, new challenges, new levels of resistance to face. But the good news is that as you win the battle over and over again, you build an inner strength that becomes unshakable. You become the kind of person who can face anything, who can keep moving forward no matter what. And so this is the most important battle of your life. It is the battle that will define everything: your success, your happiness, your fulfillment. The world may try to challenge you and people may doubt you, but the true test comes from within. When you master yourself, when you win this battle, you unlock the life you were always meant to live. There is a voice inside of you, a voice that often sounds like your own, yet is not always in your best interest. It tells you that you can't, that you won't, or that it's too hard. It's the voice of doubt, the voice of fear, the voice of insecurity. This voice is not reality. It's an illusion, a distortion of the truth that tries to hold you back from what you're truly capable of. The key to unlocking your full potential, then, is to silence that voice. You must learn how to override the negative chatter in your mind and replace it with a force of power, conviction, and belief in yourself. This battle between the voice of doubt and the voice of doubt and the voice of empowerment is one of the most important challenges you'll ever face. The voice that tells you you can't do it is a common refrain. It's easy to let it take hold, especially when you're facing something challenging, unfamiliar, or risky. It's the voice that feeds off your fears. It looks at the obstacles in front of you and convinces you that they are insurmountable. It points to past failures or weaknesses and uses them as evidence that you'll never succeed. But here's the truth: that voice is only speaking from the past, not from the present or the future. It's not grounded in the reality of your current abilities or your untapped potential. It's speaking from the perspective of who you were, not who you are or who you are becoming. This voice is deceptive. It masquerades as your protector, warning you of danger or failure, but in reality it is the source of your greatest limitations. The more you listen to it, the smaller your world becomes. It's a trap, and it's up to you to recognize it for what it is and to shut it down. The truth is that fear and doubt are natural, but they don't have to control you. Just because that voice is loud doesn't mean it's true. The first step in silencing this negative voice is to recognize that it exists. So often we go through life accepting the messages we hear in our heads as truths. We don't question them and we don't challenge them. We believe that if we feel doubt, it must be because it's a legitimate concern, a real threat to our well-being. But the reality is that doubt is just a feeling, a fleeting emotion, and it has no inherent power unless we give it power. The moment you begin to recognize that this voice is simply a product of fear, you can take away its authority. It loses its grip on you when you see it for what it truly is: just an echo of past experiences and a reflection of insecurities. Once you can identify this voice, you can take the next step, learning to question it. When the voice says you're not good enough, you need to ask yourself, is that really true? When it says you can't succeed, ask yourself, why not challenge the validity of the thoughts that hold you back? Ask yourself what evidence exists to support the idea that you cannot succeed. In most cases, you'll find that the voice of doubt is based on assumptions, fears, and unfounded beliefs rather than objective reality. More often than not, when you begin to question it, the voice loses its power. It becomes less convincing, and you realize that you're not bound by the limitations it suggests. But questioning the voice is only the beginning. The next crucial step is to replace that negative self-talk with something more empowering. It's not enough to simply silence the doubts. You need to actively introduce new beliefs into your mind. This is where the real transformation happens. You need to create a new narrative, one that is rooted in self-belief and possibility, and in the unwavering confidence that you are capable of achieving your goals. Every time you hear the voice of doubt, replace it with a voice of encouragement. When it says you can't do it, you say, I can do this. I am capable. I am ready for this challenge. When it tells you it's too hard, you tell yourself, I have the strength to overcome any obstacle. I am stronger than I think. This kind of self-talk is not about being overly optimistic or unrealistic. It's about being grounded in truth and faith in yourself. It's about reminding yourself that the voice of fear and doubt is not who you are. The real you is resilient, resourceful, and capable of achieving far more than you've ever imagined. By consistently affirming your strengths, your capabilities, and your worth, you begin to drown out the negativity and replace it with a strong, clear, and empowering message. I can do this. I am enough. I am worthy of success. It's important to understand that this process of replacing negative thoughts with positive ones is not an overnight fix. It's a continuous practice. The more you repeat these affirmations, the more you rewire your brain. You begin to create new neural pathways that support your confidence, your resilience, and your self-belief. Over time, you will notice that the voice of doubt becomes quieter and quieter. The more you choose to believe in yourself, the more that self-belief becomes ingrained in who you are. Eventually, the doubts and fears that once controlled you will have no place in your mind, and you will operate from a place of power and certainty. Another key element to silencing the negative voice is to take action in spite of it. Often we wait for the doubts to subside before we take action, but the truth is that the best way to silence the negative voice is to move forward anyway. Action creates momentum, and momentum leads to results. The more you act despite fear, the more you prove to yourself that the voice of doubt has no power. Every small step you take, every action you follow through with diminishes the power of that inner critic. You don't have to wait for the voice of fear to disappear before you act. You just have to act with the fear, with the doubts, and move forward anyway. When you do this consistently, you'll begin to build confidence from your experiences. You'll start to realize that the voice of doubt was just trying to keep you stuck in a place of safety. But that safety wasn't where your true potential lived. Your true potential is in the action. It's in stepping into discomfort, taking risks, and learning from your experiences. And as you do, the negative voice will continue to lose its grip on you. It's also important to remember that the voice of doubt will never fully go away. The key to silencing it isn't about eliminating it entirely, it's about learning how to manage it, how to not give it power over you. You'll face challenges in life and doubts will arise, but now with the tools to question it, to replace it with empowering thoughts, and to take action in spite of it, you'll be able to move through those moments more easily. The voice of doubt will no longer dictate your choices. Instead, you'll be in control. And that is the key to unlocking your potential, mastering your inner dialogue, and choosing to believe in yourself no matter what. True success is not defined by external achievements, it's defined by the victories we win within ourselves. The greatest accomplishments in life are not measured by the things we accumulate, the status we gain, or the recognition we receive from others. True success is about conquering ourselves. It's about mastering our thoughts, emotions, and behaviors in ways that empower us to live fully, intentionally, and with purpose. The real test of success is found in how well we overcome our inner limitations, face our fears, and push through the doubts that so often hold us back. When we talk about success, most people immediately think of material accomplishments, the promotion, the house, the car, the bank account balance. These things are important, but they are not the essence of success. They are byproducts of something deeper, something more enduring, the ability to master yourself, to take control of your life and your choices, and to shape your destiny from the inside out. Success comes from conquering your own mind, from deciding that you will not be limited by your past, your fears, or your doubts. One of the first steps in conquering yourself is recognizing the stories you've been telling yourself, the beliefs and narratives that have shaped your life up until now. These stories are powerful. They dictate how you see yourself, how you approach challenges, and how you respond to opportunities. Many of these stories are inherited from the past. They come from family, society, or the experiences you've had throughout your life. Some of them serve you, helping you grow and push forward, but many of them don't. They create limitations where none exist. They hold you back and keep you in a place of mediocrity. If you want to experience true success, you have to be willing to examine and challenge these beliefs. You have to ask yourself, what story am I telling myself about who I am and what I'm capable of? What have I accepted as truth about my potential, my worth, and my ability to succeed? Is that story really true, or is it just a limitation I've created based on fear, past experiences, or other people's opinions? The reality is that most of these stories are not factual. They are simply the result of conditioning, of how we were raised, or of a moment in time when we failed or got hurt. But they are not who we are. They don't define us. They can be rewritten, redefined, and reframed. When you begin to rewrite your story, you give yourself permission to grow, to evolve, and to reach for things that once seemed impossible. You stop being confined by the limits you once believed were set in stone. You start to take ownership of your future and stop letting the past dictate who you are. Success comes from the willingness to challenge these stories, to confront the lies you've believed about yourself, and to decide that the only story that matters is the one you choose to create moving forward. Another critical aspect of conquering yourself is learning to manage your emotions. Emotions are a natural part of being human, and they can be incredibly powerful. They can propel you forward with energy and motivation, or they can hold you back and paralyze you with fear. But emotions are not meant to control you. They are meant to be experienced, understood, and used as information to guide you. The key is not to allow your emotions to dictate your decisions, but to recognize them, acknowledge them, and then move forward with clarity and purpose. Fear, for example, is one of the most powerful emotions that holds people back. Fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of being judged, all of these can paralyze you and keep you from taking the risks necessary for growth. The trick is not to avoid fear, but to embrace it. Fear is a sign that you're on the edge of something new, something bigger, something that will challenge you. It's a sign that you're stepping out of your comfort zone. Fear is a natural part of the journey, and the only way to truly succeed is to move through it. When you learn to face fear head on, to acknowledge it without letting it control you, you free yourself to take bold action and create the results you desire. The same is true for other emotions such as frustration, doubt, and anger. These emotions are not to be avoided or suppressed. They are signals that something in your life needs attention. Instead of letting these emotions hold you back, you can use them as fuel for change. When you experience frustration, for example, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? What is this frustration trying to tell me? When you feel doubt, ask, what's the evidence for this doubt? Is this thought helping me or hindering me by learning to manage your emotions? You take control of your life and your actions rather than allowing your emotions to control you. Another critical element of success is taking full responsibility for your life. One of the most empowering choices you can make is to accept that you are the creator of your own destiny. The moment you take full responsibility for your actions, your choices, and your life, you unlock your true potential. You stop blaming circumstances, other people, or external factors for where you are. You take ownership of your situation and choose to act in a way that moves you closer to your goals, no matter what obstacles you face. This level of responsibility is empowering because it places the power to change in your hands. When you take full responsibility, you stop being a victim of your circumstances. You stop waiting for things to change, for others to change, or for life to get easier. Instead, you step into the role of creator, of someone who is actively shaping their reality with every decision and every action. Success comes from making choices that align with your highest values, from taking intentional action that moves you closer to your goals, and from taking responsibility for the results, both good and bad. To conquer yourself, you also need to cultivate the mindset of a growth-oriented individual. This means embracing challenges and viewing failure as an opportunity to learn, rather than as something to avoid or fear. People who conquer themselves understand that they will face setbacks along the way, but they view these setbacks as part of the journey. They are not discouraged by failures, they use them as stepping stones to greater success. When you adopt a growth mindset, you embrace continuous learning, resilience, and perseverance. You stop seeking perfection and instead focus on progress. The truth is, success is not about being flawless. It's about being willing to keep moving forward, to keep learning, and to keep improving. It's about mastering the art of persistence and showing up for yourself, even when things get tough. True success is about embracing the journey rather than obsessing over the destination. It's about growing into the person you are meant to be and letting that person lead the way toward achieving your goals. Success is an ongoing process of self-discovery, self-mastery, and continuous growth. It is about learning to trust yourself, your instincts, and your ability to navigate the challenges that come your way. In the end, success is not about the accolades you receive or the material possessions you acquire. It is about becoming the best version of yourself. It's about conquering the fears and doubts that hold you back, rewriting the stories that no longer serve you, managing your emotions, and taking responsibility for your choices. When you conquer yourself, you unlock the ability to achieve anything you desire. Success is the natural result of that internal victory. In life, the path to success is not always a straight line. It's not about having everything figured out at the start, nor is it about avoiding setbacks and failures. The true power of success lies in consistency over time. It's the daily actions, the small steps you take, the habits you form, and the mindset you cultivate that lead to long-term growth and achievement. This is where most people fail to realize their full potential. They expect immediate results or a quick fix, but the reality is that greatness doesn't happen overnight. It's built piece by piece, one small, consistent action after another. When you understand the power of consistency, you realize that success is not something you achieve once, it's something you create day by day, moment by moment. The idea of consistency seems simple, yet it's one of the most misunderstood and overlooked concepts when it comes to achieving your goals. People often get excited at the beginning of a journey. They set big goals, create action plans, and are ready to conquer the world. But soon after, they face the inevitable challenge, the novelty wears off, the initial motivation fades, and the obstacles start to appear. This is where most people give up. They believe that because the results aren't immediate, their efforts are in vain. But the truth is that success is often built in these quiet, seemingly insignificant moments. It's in the grind, in the discipline, in the repeated actions that don't always seem to lead to immediate progress. It's about having the patience to trust the process and understand that results take time. Consistency doesn't mean that you'll always be at your best or that you'll never falter. The key is not perfection, it's persistence. Life will challenge you, and there will be times when you don't feel like showing up. There will be moments when the work seems endless, when the progress feels slow, and when you question if what you're doing even matters. But it's in these moments that the power of consistency becomes clear. Every day you show up, even when you don't feel like it, you're building something. Every small effort compounds over time, creating a foundation that will support you when you need it the most. This is where growth happens, in the moments when you keep going despite the doubts, despite the fatigue, and despite the uncertainty. One of the biggest obstacles to consistency is the misconception that success is a one-time event, a breakthrough moment that changes everything. But in reality, success is a process. It's about showing up day after day, doing the work, and trusting that the little things you do today will lead to bigger things tomorrow. The results you see at any given moment are not always reflective of the effort you've put in. They're the result of consistent actions over time. When you stay committed to the process, even when the outcomes aren't immediately visible, you set yourself up for success in the long term. To cultivate consistency, you need to create habits that align with your goals. Habits are the foundation of success because they free you from the need for constant motivation. Motivation can come and go, but habits keep you moving forward even when your motivation is low. If you want to be successful, you need to identify the actions that will lead to your desired outcome and then commit to doing them consistently. Whether it's working out every morning, writing a few pages of a book each day, or taking time each day to learn something new, these small actions compound over time, building momentum and creating the results you want. The key to building strong habits is to start small and stay focused. It's easy to become overwhelmed by the bigger picture, to look at the end goal and think it's too far out of reach, but success is built on the small, manageable steps. When you break down a big goal into smaller, achievable actions, you make it easier to stay consistent. Starting small doesn't mean thinking small, it means focusing on one action at a time. Over time, those small actions stack up and create massive results. The power of consistency is also about managing your mindset. Consistency isn't just about doing the work, it's about doing it with the right attitude. It's about believing in the process and trusting that the results will come. There will be setbacks and failures along the way, but if you stay focused on your long-term vision, you'll be able to overcome them. Your mindset is the fuel that keeps you going, especially when things get tough. If you see challenges as obstacles, you'll be discouraged every time you face them. But if you view challenges as opportunities for growth, as stepping stones on your path to success, you'll embrace them. You'll understand that every failure is just a lesson learned. Every obstacle is just another opportunity to refine your approach. This mindset of resilience and persistence is essential to maintaining consistency. It's also important to understand that consistency doesn't mean you have to be perfect. Perfectionism can be a trap that prevents you from moving forward. Instead of waiting for the perfect moment or the perfect conditions, you must be willing to take imperfect action. The goal is not to be flawless, but to be persistent. Perfectionism will paralyze you, keeping you from taking action because you're afraid it won't be good enough. But the key to consistency is to keep moving forward, even if you're not perfect. Progress is better than perfection because it means you're constantly improving and learning. The more consistent you are, the more you refine your skills, sharpen your focus, and get closer to your goals. Another aspect of consistency is learning to embrace discomfort. Success doesn't come from avoiding discomfort, it comes from pushing through it. The discomfort you feel when you're working towards your goals is a sign that you're growing. It means you're stretching beyond your limits, which is exactly what you need to do in order to evolve. Success requires you to step out of your comfort zone and face the unknown. But by committing to consistent action, you build the resilience and strength needed to handle that discomfort. Over time, what once felt challenging becomes easier, and what once seemed out of reach becomes attainable. Consistency turns discomfort into a habit, and that habit leads to transformation. One of the biggest benefits of consistency is that it builds trust with yourself. When you consistently show up for yourself, when you commit to your goals every single day, you begin to develop a deep sense of self-confidence. You prove to yourself that you are someone who follows through, someone who is capable of doing what you say you're going to do. This trust in yourself becomes a powerful motivator because once you know that you can rely on yourself to take consistent action, you start to believe that anything is possible. Confidence and self-trust are the fuel that drives your ability to maintain consistency. It's important to remember that the power of consistency applies to every area of your life. It's not just about your career or your business goals, it's about your health, your relationships, your personal development, and your overall well-being. Whether it's working on your physical health, building a strong relationship with someone, or learning a new skill, consistency is the key to making progress. By committing to small, consistent actions in all areas of your life, you create a life that reflects the person you want to become. You build momentum in all areas of your life, which leads to exponential growth and fulfillment. Success is not about big, dramatic moments. It's about the small, consistent choices you make every day. It's about trusting the process, embracing the discomfort, and showing up no matter what. When you understand the power of consistency, you realize that success is not a destination, it's a journey that unfolds over time. It's about building the habits, mindset, and actions that lead to a life of purpose, fulfillment, and success. In life, there are two distinct forces at play: your potential and your limitations. Your potential is boundless, yet often you find yourself restrained by the very beliefs and behaviors that limit your ability to realize it. These limitations come from within. They manifest as self-doubt, fear of failure, complacency, and old stories that no longer serve you. The gap between your potential and where you currently are is what creates the friction. The key to unlocking your true potential lies not in external circumstances, but in overcoming these internal limitations. Success is ultimately a battle within, a battle between who you are now and who you could be if you remove the boundaries you've created for yourself. One of the primary reasons people remain stuck is because they've built a comfort zone that feels safe. The comfort zone is a mental space, a place where you feel in control, where things feel predictable and familiar. But the comfort zone is also a prison. It keeps you in a state of complacency, preventing you from taking the risks necessary for growth. The comfort zone is not a place where growth occurs, it's a place where you stagnate. While it may feel safe in the short term, the long-term consequences of staying in that zone are far more detrimental than the temporary discomfort of stepping outside it. To reach your potential, you must first acknowledge that your current reality is the result of your own decisions, behaviors, and mindset. You are where you are because of the choices you have made up until this point. This realization may seem confronting, but it is also incredibly empowering. Because if you created your current situation, you also have the power to change it. You are not a prisoner of your circumstances, you are the creator of your life. The power to transform lies within you, but it requires taking responsibility for where you are and committing to the actions that will take you to where you want to be. The first step is understanding that you are in control, and that control starts with your mindset. Your mindset is the lens through which you view the world. It determines how you react to challenges, how you interpret success and failure, and how you approach your goals. A fixed mindset, the belief that your abilities and intelligence are set and cannot be changed, is one of the biggest limitations to your potential. People with a fixed mindset tend to avoid challenges, give up easily, and view effort as fruitless. They often fear failure because they see it as a reflection of their inherent inadequacy. This mindset keeps you locked in a box, limiting your ability to expand, grow, and achieve greatness. On the other hand, a growth mindset is the belief that abilities and intelligence can be developed over time through effort, learning, and persistence. People with a growth mindset see challenges as opportunities to learn and grow. They view failure not as a defeat, but as a valuable experience that brings them closer to success. The key to unlocking your potential lies in developing this growth mindset. When you embrace the idea that growth is a lifelong process, you become more resilient, adaptable, and open to new possibilities. Instead of seeing limitations, you start seeing opportunities for growth, and this shift in perspective opens up new doors for you to walk through. The next step in unlocking your potential is learning how to overcome fear. Fear is one of the most powerful limitations you face, and it is often the root cause of the self-imposed barriers that hold you back. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of the unknown, these are all natural human emotions. But the key to success is not in eliminating fear, it's in learning how to act in spite of it. Fear, when understood and managed, can become a powerful motivator rather than a paralyzing force. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't is not the absence of fear, but the ability to take action regardless of it. When you feel fear rising, recognize it as a signal that you are on the verge of growth. You are likely stepping outside of your comfort zone, and that is where transformation happens. Instead of avoiding fear or waiting for it to subside, embrace it. Use it as fuel to push forward, knowing that each step you take outside your comfort zone expands your potential. Fear is often a sign that you are on the path towards something greater, and when you learn to push through it, you find that the rewards on the other side are well worth the temporary discomfort. Another limitation that people often face is self-doubt. It's easy to convince yourself that you're not capable, that others are more talented or more deserving, or that your dreams are too big to be realized. This inner voice of doubt can be crippling, especially when you face setbacks or when things don't go according to plan. But self-doubt is nothing more than a story you've created. It's a reflection of your inner fears, not your true potential. When you learn to recognize self-doubt for what it is, a temporary feeling rather than a permanent truth, you can start to shift your focus back to what you can control: your actions. The antidote to self-doubt is action. Every time you doubt yourself, take a small step forward. When you feel insecure, remind yourself that progress is made by doing, not by thinking about doing. Action creates momentum, and momentum creates confidence. The more you take action, the more you prove to yourself that you are capable of achieving what you set out to do. Self-doubt starts to dissipate when you realize that you don't have to have everything figured out in advance. The key is to begin and to trust that with each step, the path becomes clearer. One of the most profound ways to overcome limitations is by changing the stories you tell yourself. You are the narrator of your life, and the stories you tell shape your reality. If you constantly tell yourself that you're not good enough, that success is for others but not for you, or that your dreams are impossible, those stories will become your reality. They will limit your actions, stifle your creativity, and prevent you from taking the risks necessary for growth. But when you change the story, when you start telling yourself that you are worthy of success, that you are capable of achieving your dreams, that you have the ability to overcome obstacles, you begin to act in alignment with that new story. You start to make decisions that reflect your potential, not your limitations. Your story is one of the most powerful forces in your life. You can choose to be the hero of your own narrative, or you can remain stuck as the victim. The choice is yours. You can rewrite the chapters that no longer serve you and start creating a new narrative, one that reflects your true potential. Every day is an opportunity to write a new page, to make choices that align with the person you want to become, and to take actions that lead you closer to the life you desire. It's important to recognize that the limitations you face are not inherent to who you are. They are learned behaviors, conditioned responses, and beliefs that you've adopted over time. They are not permanent truths. They are simply habits of thought that can be changed. The moment you decide that you are no longer willing to accept those limitations, you begin to break free from them. The process of unlocking your potential requires you to rewire your mind, to replace old, limiting beliefs with new, empowering ones, and to take consistent action toward the life you desire. The journey of unlocking your potential is not easy, but it is deeply rewarding. It requires courage, commitment, and a willingness to face your fears, doubts, and limitations head on. But as you move forward, step by step, you will find that the barriers you once thought were insurmountable become smaller and smaller. You will begin to see the vast expanse of your potential, and you will realize that the only thing standing between you and your dreams is the decision to move beyond your limitations. When you choose to do that, you open the door to a life of limitless possibility.